Welcome, everybody, to the fourth Tribal Council of Spellbound Survivor the Craft. Um, now that we've officially done it, every person in this cast has attended at least one Tribal Council before. Everyone has faced the pressure. Um, let's get right into the challenge, though. It was by a very narrow margin. Like I said earlier, it's been very competitive. It's been very intense. It's been very close. Jimmy, how does it feel to lose by only 1 point? That one task, one other picture could have made the difference.
I I mean it's hard to get the game started, to be honest. Like somebody's gonna have to send us to tribal council at some point. So 1 point is better than 10 points, right? So I mean it's a near miss. I'm not that mad about the margin. I'm not mad about much of anything. I guess I'm mad that I didn't compete. That's really the only part that I'm mad about. I feel like I felt a little hamstrung. Like I didn't realize it was 2 days. I didn't realize it was going to be like I just didn't read the rules, I guess. But that's the only part that bothered me.
To lose by such a small margin may be painful for like, damn, that one picture, that one task could have saved us. But at the same time, some people see merits to this. It could have been much further down the road in the game where you're doing what you're doing now in testing the waters, testing who you can actually trust in this game, trust who you can have as an ally. Topher, what do you look for in an ally in this game?
Uh, for me, an ally consists of loyalty, an ally consists of honesty, and an ally consists of integrity. Somebody that I know I can count on, somebody that I know that I can rely on, somebody that I know has my back. If I can understand what they are saying and they're telling me the truth, then I know that I will make it through to another day. If I put my faith in somebody and that somebody has lied to me, then there is nothing I can do, for I have been forsaken. However, at this specific tribal, I think that I will be okay because I believe in the people that have told me what they have told me. And I think that tomorrow my allies will be strong with me.
Topher, is one of your magical powers foresight?
Um, you see, I do not dare tell the future because by the mere act of telling the future, it will then lead to the altering of the future. So then the future that I see, I will then damn to not come true. So I stay in the present, for the present is where I am.
Okay. That doesn't answer my question, but okay.
I bet. Well, that does raise a very interesting point. The ability to have foresight in this game, to try to foresee the path right in front of you, was the most optimal move. You want to be able to take someone out that doesn't limit your options moving forward and will best pave the route for you to get to the end. Jeremiah, how do you pave that way? How do you gauge what's smartest for you now?
I think that what's smartest for me right now is ironically focusing on the short-term game. Everybody on Survivor USA talks about big moves and thinking 4 steps ahead. But I think we're dealing with a group of players here that want to focus on surviving as long as possible. And we want to focus on, during the tribal phase, it's a team game. We want to focus on what's good for the team. And in that vein, we want to focus on a short-term game. So what's going to help us win the next round and what's going to keep us stronger as a unit socially.
And sometimes it could be both can be achieved at the same time, voting off both a challenge liability and someone that people do not trust. But there's often that conundrum of there's this one person who, if we get rid of them, it's probably better for the immunity challenges. But there's this other person who's causing a lot of chaos and stirring up a lot of tension within the camp. Mikey, what is his vote going to be based off of? Is it going to be challenge strength? Is it going to be trust? Or do you think it's going to be a blend of both?
I mean, I think it's a little bit of a blend of both. Obviously, it's hard to say in this challenge specifically, like who did the most. All we saw was the final score. We didn't see how much work each individual person put in. So there's not really an easy way to say, oh, this person didn't put in work in the challenge. They are the one that has to go. And like, we spent so much time discussing who was going to sit out. Like, we can't fault Jimmy for sitting out because we came to that decision as a tribe. Like, there are so many. It's what we think is going to be the best case scenario, like Jeremiah was saying, for us as a tribe moving forward. And like, I don't know, we maybe we're not all on the same page. Maybe people aren't telling me the complete truth, but the only way to find out is to get in that voting booth and find the fuck out.
You know, some people don't even know what's going to happen until tribal council, like just like surveying the field. You know, maybe in like real Survivor, look at some people's body language, their facial expressions, if they're looking at you, reassuring you or not. But you can't do that online. It's very hard to gauge whether or not people are lying to you. It's probably harder to do so, actually. And with that in mind, Topher, buddy, Topher the unencumbered.
Wait, first, Jacob, can I whisper something in Topher's ear? Oh, right, I can't. I'm kidding.
Oh yeah, live night. We go into a first live tribal.
Jacob, give me a breakout room now.
Well, Topher the unencumbered. Before Jeremiah and Mikey tried to derail this into a live tribal. A Zoom, might I add you. What's most important here? Like, how do you reassure people that you're with them?
Well, I think that for me, the ability to reassure who I am with is that what I said today was the truth. If you came to me and you said to me, hey, I think that this person needs to be voted off, this is where my vote is going, and I said to you, yes, I am on board with this, I agree, and I am on the same page, then you know that I am with you. I almost think that tonight we should be pretty cut and dry because I have co-signed and agreed to everyone's suggestion. So unless I am the buffoon and this hat is not magical but actually a dunce hat, then I think that tonight my loyalties will have been proven because you will have known that I will have said what it is that I was going to do, and I did it.
The truth may set someone free, but sometimes the truth is not all that flattering. Maybe the truth is something that's actually detrimental to your game. And so, Jimmy, let me throw this hypothetical your way. Let's say that there's two scenarios. Either you could be told the truth, but it be somebody that you don't really want to see go home, or you were lied to, but the person who ends up getting sent home is great for your game or what you ideally wanted to happen. Which is worse? That they seem to lose the battle in convincing people to do what you want to do, or you won while being deceived? What's worse?
Did you ask me that?
Yeah.
I thought so. Okay. I was paying attention because I thought you said my name at the beginning. I wasn't sure. Okay, cool.
Jimmy, I have a question. Are you high?
A little bit.
Okay.
No, so God, that's a great question. That's a great question. That's the kind of question that somebody who really strongly knows how to play Survivor would be able to answer. Okay, so for me, I think I would prefer to be lied to and then after the fact discover that it was something that was better for my game, because I pretty much play from week to week anyway. So I mean, that would just be like a reset in a positive position, but I'll bet I'm wrong about that. I'll bet the correct answer is I was able to manipulate and control people. It would have been a better, but I just can't see it that way.
I think it depends on what phase in the game you are, because there's a phase in the game where if we're talking about these sort of things early on, the pre-merge, I don't think people care because it's a long memory from when you get to the end of the game. It's the long memory. People forget about that sort of thing. It's when you hit the merge, when the jury starts to build, that's when people start to be more concerned about that. But even then, I think it's possible for Jimmy to camouflage an incorrect vote that he did. I don't think it's that hard to do on Survivor. So you could spin doctor it when you get to the end, and we'll see, you know?
Mikey, what are your thoughts on that question? Which do you think would be worse?
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi, sorry about that again.
I mean, I think I honestly kind of feel the same way as Jimmy. It's like I can never claim to be in tune with all of the happenings that are like going on in my tribe or in a merge tribe at any time. Like I'm never going to be the person that's like so woke to everything that's going on that I just am able to like know what's going to happen all the time. And but if I'm left out of something but it ends up working in my favor anyway, great, I'll take it from there and move on.
All right, but Jonathan, since you just chimed in, I'm going to give you a question. We were just talking about just which is better, just what's more ideal for your game, and what's the truth. So I'll ask you the scenario again because I think it's actually a really good question. I'm actually proud of myself. Let me pat myself on the back. It's actually a really good question.
Yeah,
Would
that's a
you
really
rather?
valid question.
I appreciate it. Would you rather be told the truth, but it not be something you really want to hear? Like, I don't want this person to go, but at least they're telling me that they're going home. Or would you rather be lied to, but it inadvertently be something that's best for your game? Like someone that you did want to see go home, but you were lied to.
That's a tough question. But if I have to have a definite answer, I would have to be lied to, but it would actually beneficiate my game because you never know what could actually go what could go wrong on in this kind of game. If you're actually something that you think is actually the truth, but it isn't really the truth, and either way, the way that you voted went towards the majority instead of the minority.
All right, bet. Lauren, since you also came in, oh, sorry. Hi, Lauren. We were just answering this question, but we're gonna move on because I keep asking this. I think people are gonna start losing their minds. But the blowout of tribal council, there's a lot of different reactions. You know, some could be of shock, some could be of dismay, some could be of relief, some could be of just complacence. Like you know, like this is the easy vote. This is the premer. This is the early game. Nothing really affects me now until it's crunch time later down the road, where there's less people in there. Do you think the tribe can still be peaceful and cordial after tonight? Are we expecting some fireworks when we go back to camp?
I mean, from what I've heard, it's not gonna be like anything big. I mean, it's gonna be easy. So I guess so, yeah.
All right, but we're gonna see whether or not that's true. Before we close off, I had to ask this question, Michael Ruby. If you could compare this tribal to a natural disaster, I had to do it. I had to do it.
Okay,
What would it be and why? What would it be?
Um, I think I would compare it to like a tsunami, but the beach before the tsunami happens, when the waves pulling out before everything actually goes down. You can kind of see that everything is setting up. We're all in the beginning of everything, and we all know that eventually along the road somewhere there's going to be a huge crash and it's all going to hit the fan. But right now we're all safe having fun on the beach and having a good time, I guess.
I think it could be also compared to an earthquake in the sense of in California, earthquakes are so commonplace. And you either get an earthquake that's just a few tremors, no big deal, it's not that bad, versus an earthquake that's disastrous, can knock down a building. And that's something where you know that an earthquake is going to happen, but the question is at what severity? Is it going to be, are you going to walk out of tribal council feeling calm that one person left and it's not that big a deal to your game? Or are you going to leave tribal council, it's more disastrous, or even worse, your personal building is knocked down and you can't do anything about it?
I think that's a perfect way to segue into the public answers, where I'm asking everyone the same thing. Just raise your hand. Raise your hand if what you think what you were told tonight was true. That the name you're being told, the name that's been brought to your attention was the right one. All right, got some hands, got some a bit more confident than others, right? Put them down. Raise your hand if you think you're in danger. Raise your hand if you think for whatever reason you're concerned that you're going to be going home, you think you're getting votes tonight. All right, but last question. Raise your hand if you think you're going home. Like you're done. No one. A couple. I don't want to raise my hand, but I kind
I
of
think
don't.
that's a dumb question to ask because if just one person raises their hands, that could just be an easy. That person thinks they're going home. Let's just do it.
We'll just have to see. Because if no one raises their hand, then clearly, unless it's Julia that gets murked tonight, someone here is wrong, and we're gonna see if that's the case. Now is your opportunity to send in your vote, change your votes, and do some shout outs. Shout out some people in the VL. We keep these unlisted until postseason, but then send them to the VL for them to watch and tune in on. But
I would like to shout out my prod chat guests. I have the iconic fourth place fire making losers from Distortion Survivor, Miss Karen and Mr. Mac. We love them both dearly.
My grade 2 math teacher's name is Miss Karen. Anyway, Karen Stoddard.
Shout out to all of the amazing individuals out there that have worked so tirelessly to put this entire thing together. And if it was not for you, and if it was not for the VL, and if it was not for the players, we would not be having this dandy of a time. Also, shout out to my prod guests, who are also members of my prod team, and applications are currently open for Inferno Season 3. So if you have not yet applied, please do so now.
Also, shout out to my roommate for helping me film the Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board video.
Levitation.
Shout out to the local store for having certain equipment that I might need for this challenge, Just,
Shout out to the 4 different metaphysical stores I had to go to find all the fucking crap for this freaking thing. I was running around Brooklyn for an entire Saturday.
Shout out to my husband who doesn't care.
okay, quick. I'm just waiting on one more vote, and then we will get started. All right, I have the votes. If anybody has an advantage or an idol that they would like to play, now is the window to do so.
Hold up, Jacob. I'm kidding.
Okay, so that I feel like I gotta open up the window again. Anyone else wants to? Okay, good. We're done. We're good. We're safe. We're safe. Oh. All right, but I'll read the votes. Once the votes have been read, the person just has a few moments to gather his, hers, or their belongings and get the hell off of my island. All right, but first vote, Jonathan. Second vote, Jonathan. That's 2 votes, Jonathan. Jimmy. That's 2 votes, Jonathan. 1 vote, Jimmy. Jonathan. That's 3 votes, Jonathan. 1 vote, Jimmy. Fourth person voted off of Spellbound Survivor, the craft, Jonathan. That is 4, and tonight that is enough. Jonathan, the floor is yours if you have anything left to say before your departure.
Well, I should have actually done something that I should have done before. I should use my immunity to get out of myself to actually save my ass at this point. Okay, thank you. But it was actually fun and all. But in the end of the day, if y'all actually wanted to go ahead and evict me, you should have actually told me so. So with that being said, bye bitches.
Ciao, Jonathan. We love you.
Love you too. Bye now.
Well, that is all. And if Jonathan's exclamation is true, that means you successfully flushed an immunity idol. But hopefully that won't stir up some more paranoia. And if it doesn't, then Spellbound Survivor Pride will make sure that we will do that for you. Everyone, good luck. Got nothing for you. Get the hell out of here. Go back to camp.